Now, Washington Mornings on the Mall. 105.9 FM. And AM 630. WMAL.
7:37 on WMAL. There's an asteroid coming. Did you hear about it? We're going to tell you about that in just a few moments. Then we're going to talk to Erin Mercino. She represents a guy who has real concerns about the fact that the new Obamacare legislation requires him to provide contraceptives for his employees, and he's opposed to that idea. Some legal fights are being fought on that issue around the country. We'll get into that issue coming up at 8:07. Brian Wilson with Larry O'Connor.
And now with Stuart Varney from Fox Business Channel. Of course, he's the host of Varney and Company. And, Stuart, we always have a great time talking to you. We always tend to make some news. And luckily, here you are. You get to do a victory lap because your pals on Wall Street had a great day yesterday. Congratulations.
Wait a minute. My pals?
Yes. Oh, you love
Street?
All those Wall Street traders. Yeah, aren't they your buddies?
That was a pejorative, young man, and you know it. You're labeling me. You're tarring and feathering me with a rotten brush, and
Stuart,
I don't want any
Big
part of it.
Business Varney joins us now.
Look, yesterday, Dow Industrials up over 300 points. Big rally. It was relief, basically. A relief. Because it could have been worse, this fiscal cliff deal. It could have been worse. And a relief that there has been at least some agreement. But I don't think it's going to last. Now, look, I'm not in the business of forecasting the stock market, but I don't see this market going to the moon just because we got a lousy deal yesterday out of Congress. I don't think that way at all.
The hidden item that I saw coming out of Wall Street yesterday, which I don't quite understand, and maybe you can help us with, it was crude oil futures. Why is oil up in such a sharp way?
I think that has to do with renewed tension around Iran, and a sort of a subtle shift in the situation around Iran and whether Israel will attack at some point in the very near future. I don't think it had that much to do with the fiscal cliff deal. It also had something to do with the U.S. dollar, because oil is a hard, tangible asset priced in dollars. If the dollar's value to other currencies goes down, you tend to see the price of oil go up. That's how it works.
All right, so we got a deal, and some of these tax rates for the middle class have been made permanent.
Permanent, never on the table again.
That's right, and that's probably, that's good news for some people.
Yeah.
But the bad news was we didn't do one stinking thing to solve the deficit problem.
Brian, I am with you 100%. America's fundamental problem is that we're spending $1 trillion a year more than we're bringing in, and we're racking up massive unpayable debt. That is our problem. That's the nature of America's economic problem today. And that fiscal cliff deal did absolutely nothing about that problem. In fact, we're going to spend even more money. We've renewed unemployment benefits for 2 million people for an extra year. That's increased spending. We've not cut spending at all. You can't keep doing this. I keep coming back to that. You cannot keep on doing this forever. Sooner or later, the piper has to be paid. I don't know when. I don't know what causes the piper to have to be paid all of a sudden, but sooner or later, it's going to happen.
Congress doesn't have the ability to do things that are difficult. They don't have the ability to tell the American people, you've got to do this.
I got a classic example for you, Brian, is this Sandy relief bill. $60 billion. The Senate voted for it. It never got to a vote in the House. Outrage in New Jersey, where I live, and New York, where I work. What? You're not going to help us out in our time of need? Hold on a second. Look at that $60 billion. $60 billion? Good Lord. It contains, $600 million for climate change for the EPA, $348 million for the Park Service, money for Alaska fisheries, $188 million for Amtrak. What's that got to do with storm relief? And $60 billion? I mean, this thing is loaded up like a Christmas tree.
Right.
You cannot pass spending legislation in America today without doling out goodies all across the country to make other people vote for it. And that is America's fundamental problem.
And yet, Stuart Varney, your governor, Chris Christie, made all the headlines with his outrage over the fact that the Congress didn't rubber stamp all that pork. Why doesn't he have outrage about all of the pork that was laden into the bill?
I would really like to know. I really want to know the answer to that question. Here we have a prominent Republican who I thought was standing for the essence of the Republican Party, which is limited government. And he's lambasting Congress because they won't vote for a pork-laden $60 billion rescue bill.
Yeah.
By the way, if you go back to Hurricane Andrew, I know it's a long time ago, but it devastated parts of Florida. The relief bill for that was $7 billion.
Yep.
And now it's $60 billion. By the way, New Jersey, the total budget for the state of New Jersey for 1 year is $30 billion. And we've got a $60 billion rescue effort? What the devil's going on?
Listen, Chris Christie needs to do some political soul-searching here, because I think when you're a Republican governor and you are on the same page as Chuck Schumer, you're not doing things right.
Yes. Yes, I'm 100% agree with you.
All right, Stuart, now moving forward as we're looking into 2013, and I know you don't like to make predictions with regard to the Wall Street, but writ large, the global economy and how things are shaking down right now, what are we to look for in 2013 moving forward?
You're right. I don't particularly care to predict the stock market, but I think it might be a fairly strong year for stocks.
Really?
Yeah, I think some money might come out of bonds. You know, money sloshes around all over the place, so where does it go? I think it might come out of bonds, because that's almost like a bubble.
Wilson's making notes right now. I think you're his unofficial stock advisor. He's like, oh, all right, Varney's on site.
When Varney speaks, people listen.
You guys are crazy. I think it could be a pretty good year for the stock market. Yeah, I think so. I'm not going to forecast any particular level, but if you look at the flow of money from this asset to that asset, I think some money could be coming out of bonds, and I think it's looking for a home. I think it will go into the stock market. I also think you're going to have a very good year for a single-family home in a pretty good neighborhood. I think that...
we might actually see a rebound in the real estate market. That would be helpful,
wouldn't it?
That would be very helpful.
Yes, it would. And I think the real estate market will probably be the best performing asset of 2013.
And we have a jobs report coming out tomorrow for December. What are you hearing? They always get little tidbits out there in advance. Are you hearing anything?
Yeah. December was a bad month for the economy generally. Look at retail sales in December. Not good. Nowhere near as strong as a lot of people thought. I think that suggests it won't be a strong job market report. You might see the unemployment rate go up a little bit. You might see a lot of people dropping out of the workforce. I think it's going to be a negative. I don't think it's going to reflect a vigorous recovery.
You're a naturalized Brit, now an American citizen.
Yep.
And Piers Morgan says that he may have to leave the country over our gun policies.
Deport himself.
Yeah, he may have to deport him. May have to deny us his presence. What do you think about all that?
Well, I've offered to buy him an economy class ticket, and I will do that so long as he takes a stopover in Paris to visit his socialist pals in France. I may be a little harsh here, but as you know, I've said about this before, I don't like English people coming over here and criticizing and insulting the way we do things in America. You come over here, you make a ton of money. Tell us you like it, please. Tell us that you like America and all that it stands for. Don't be harshly critical with your hoity-toity accent. Just please don't do that.
Stuart Varney, always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Yeah.